Hey guys, welcome. Today's video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been putting it off, I think, for a little while. Only more because I don't know, I feel like it's not very like me. I'm normally that sort of like really bubbly person. Whoops. Don't really let things bother me as such anymore. I used to be a completely different person years ago. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go into my whole acne journey. So I feel like this will probably help some people, and if it helps one person then I'll be happy. Obviously I was going to write down little bullet points of what I was going to say, but I'm not that sort of person. I am more of a rambler. I just go on and on and on. This video could be so long, so you know, get a snack, get a cup of tea. I've got my brew. It's not, you know, it's going to be a kind of chit chat, kind of let you know all of the things I went through. So yeah, if you want to see my little acne journey, then please stay tuned. Okay, I feel really vulnerable right now and I don't like it. The best things happen when you're not in the best comfort zone. So yeah, where do I start? I basically, as a teenager, I didn't really suffer as such with spots. As you do, just a normal teenager, I just used to get a couple here and there, didn't really bother me. My makeup game was not good, so I used to just smother my face in foundation, have an orange line, which probably isn't much different to what it is now, but as well, I never really used to clean my face that much. I never used to really know the importance of skincare, nothing. I was just not bothered by it. As a teenager, I think that's normal. And then I had my little girl. I fell pregnant at 20, which I know was young. So I fell pregnant at 20, had her when I was 21. And when I fell pregnant, my skin was, you know when people say you're pregnant, you get that healthy glow? That never really happened for me. My skin just went downhill. And it just kind of like went worse and worse and worse. Acne is more sort of brought out by hormones, so obviously being pregnant, my hormones were all over the show and I really struggled. I wouldn't want to regret anything because my little girl is my absolute life, so I don't regret anything at all, but obviously that was the thing what triggered off my acne. So basically after I had Amelia, my skin was still really bad. I used to do sunbeds quite a lot because it kind of helped as such because of the redness and the horrible what it looked like. It wasn't pretty. So I used to do that, and obviously I used to feel like the tan used to make me feel a little bit more healthier, a bit more glowy, but then I started looking like a leather handbag. So I scrapped that completely and kind of tried to go au naturel with it all, and in the space of however many years, I was going to the doctors every single month. I was put on so many different tablets. I was told that my acne wasn't severe enough to be referred, and I went into a very like dark place. I know, as silly as it sounds to people who are watching this who maybe have never suffered from acne, but when it's really severe, you being told that it's kind of like a knock to your whole body, because you're like, but my skin is disgusting, so how is that not severe enough to be looked at further? And it really, like, really hit me. And I can remember my mum come with me once to the doctors. I'd never go out without makeup on, and it was a big thing to me to go to the doctors without makeup and to kind of show my skin how it was. When they said it weren't severe enough, I was like, are you having a giraffe? Are you actually joking? So my mum come in with me that one time, and I can just remember my mum crying, and it was to the point where she was crying because she was like, kind of just said basically that, how can you not do anything for my daughter? She has, like, how do you think that makes me feel as a mum, that my daughter is not leaving the house for 2 weeks because her skin is that bad, and you are willing to try another tablet which doesn't work. You are willing to try another lotion which doesn't work, but you will not refer her when she's getting so mentally ill. And it sounds silly at the time, like when I look back to it, I was really unstable and I was really depressed. And I know it's like only about your skin, but it's a big thing for girls and boys. and to kind of suffer from that, and you have all these feelings inside you. You feel like why me? Why? You know, I had exes who that was what they could chuck in my face. So it was a thing where they would sit there and go, oh, you're just as spotty, it's disgusting, you're a spotty freak. And that used to make me worse and worse and worse, because that was probably the only thing what could be chucked in my face. I'm not saying I'm perfect, by all means. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but my skin was like one thing which, it was a sensitive subject. So when it used to be brought up, I used to just go, and I used to blow big time. And yeah, rambling, Jade, rambling. So yeah, so obviously I went to the doctors so many times, and they would they would basically put me on different tablets again. I would try them, and my skin used to be kind of like full of blisters, and I used to have cysts. I used to have boils all the way down my neck. It was so uncomfortable. My face used to be swollen because of how bad it was. And no amount of makeup would cover that. No amount of makeup would actually make me feel confident enough to sort of feel like I'm kind of normal. So after all of that, I kind of give up with the doctors, to be honest with you. I was not in the mental state at all. And I gave up. Like, I really gave up. I didn't believe in anything what my GP had to say, to be honest with you, because when you've tried that many things, you kind of think, do you know what? You're not helping me. You're not trying to help me be that better person. And I know that my skin is probably the only thing what would make me feel better about myself. I struggled with weight. I struggled with everything like a normal person would. But the only thing what really bothered me was my skin. I used to feel like everyone used to look at me. You know, I'm a hairdresser. I sit in front of a mirror every single day and talk to people, and all I see is my mug. When you've got all this stuff going on in your face, that's the last thing you want to see, to be honest. You don't want to be reminded every single minute of the day. And I can always remember, I actually had a new client come in, and she asked me what was wrong with, she kind of put it quite bluntly, and I think I was having a bad day. And I burst into tears because she was like, what is wrong with your face? What is on your face? And I kind of sat there, and I was young at this time. I was about 22 or 21 maybe, I don't know. And I kind of sat there and I went, excuse me? And she was like, your face, do you clean your face? I need to go upstairs. I cannot physically do this person's hair. And that really hit me really bad, because I think maybe that it was kind of like brutal in a way, because she sat there and she didn't give a shit. She didn't give a flying fuck what she said to someone who generally, I know it's there. I can see it every flaming day. You don't need to ask me what is on my face. And that really hit me big time. And I thought, is that what everyone else thinks? Is that what people who love me think of me? But kind of don't dare say anything. So yeah, no, that was probably one of my worst experiences, I suppose. It doesn't sound that bad, but when you're suffering that bad and like mentally, it was absolutely awful. It was like the worst thing that could ever happen. So yeah, after that, I kind of, I don't know, I sort of went into a massive downward spiral, and nothing was helping. I tried every single thing on the high street, so I would spend an absolute fortune. I would spend a fortune on products which, these are amazing for acne. You spend this and you get that, and this will completely clear your acne. And I spent an absolute fortune. Everything was so harsh for my face, because I'm really sensitive anyway. Everything was so harsh. And it kind of got to the point where I really gave up. I couldn't find anything what helped my skin. I remember back in the years before I met Nathan, my ex was really supportive with my skin. Nathan's absolutely amazing, but my ex was really supportive, but he was like, do you know what, we'll look into something private. And I was like, okay, because the doctors weren't doing nothing for me, I was like, okay, we'll do it. And I ended up going to a skin clinic in Norwich, which is about half an hour away from me. And I basically paid up front for a complete course. Now this course is not a cheap course. And it was a big thing at the time. I was lucky enough that, you know, I had money. And obviously when it comes to your skin, you kind of don't care. I spent a fortune on every single thing what was believed to help, and it never did. So I was like, you know what, if this is going to cost me this much, then it should work, surely. So I basically went and had, I think it was around about 6 months worth. So every Sunday I would go up, and I would obviously have to go with no makeup. That was such a big thing for me. My mum used to have to take me because I just couldn't, I didn't like to feel like I was being looked at. I just hated it. So I went every Sunday. I would have on the first Sunday, I would have an acid peel. Then the second Sunday, I would have laser treatment. And then it would work sort of every other Sunday, I would have either or. So the acid peel was the most painfulest thing I think I've ever had done on my skin, because my skin was so bloody sore because I had boils. You are then putting acid on them boils, and it burnt like you would not believe. Every single time I used to cry. Every time I come out there, I cried. I would then come out, face bright red, and then basically from that day to the next Sunday, my skin would peel. So it would be like a snake. I just used to just pick at it, and it would be like a snake. I then, that Sunday then after that, would have laser treatment, which is kind of like a Hoover. I call it a Hoover. They basically say if you had a boil, they would put it over the boil. It's got a little glass protector in it. They'd put it over the boil, and they would send a UV light down to the core of your bacteria. And whew, that pain is so unreal. When you have a boil, it is sore anyway. You can hardly move your face. It stays there for about 3 weeks, and it's so bloody painful. You putting a suction on it and putting a laser right down in it, it was not pleasant at all. And I used to find that was like, it wasn't as painful as my peel, but it really hurt. So yeah, anyway, had a 6 month course of that. My skin started to make a little bit of a difference, but it was one of those things where they said after 6 months you will have clear skin. After 6 months, okay. So I waited, went through all of that, nothing changed. It kind of like my skin was a little bit smoother where I didn't have boils, but nothing changed. So I then I was disappointed big time for the amount of money we had spent. So it was kind of like an ongoing battle again. So like I have said in my past videos, I would never go to the shops, I would never go out, I would never do anything with that makeup. And here I am sitting on YouTube with hundreds of people watching me, and I have no makeup on, and I don't really care. I love the thing with makeup is you can completely transform your face, and it is like an art. I absolutely love makeup, and I don't do it because I'm paranoid about my skin or I'm not happy with my skin anymore. Back in the day, yeah, I did, but back then I wasn't into makeup as like I am now. And now I see it as art. I don't see it as a necessary thing to be doing in the morning if I haven't got time. So basically what had happened is, obviously I met Nathan 3 years ago, and he is probably the best person I've ever met. But he completely like saw past every single thing. He never once has ever said to me that, you know, you look ugly, or you know, the amount of names I've had called in the past. I can remember my first ever YouTube video, which I put on, and I actually writ on my face what I have been called before. Obviously, if I had a bit more room, I would have covered everything. But, you know, I used to get called ... pizza face, disgusting, unhygienic, I don't, like I don't wash, I'm sick. And it used to be, and like ugly, and every single thing a girl would not probably want to hear. you already know your insecurities, and I'm very aware of my insecurities. And to be honest, I'm quite a laid back person. I don't really care. I'm not one where, you know, luckily I don't have someone who goes out all the time or who likes to party, or, you know, he's a very strong, sort of grounded family man, and I absolutely love that about him. He doesn't care for all the stuff which I used to be attracted to. He doesn't care for that. He doesn't give a flying monkey. So he is like my little soulmate. I absolutely love him. Even though I probably don't show it, I'm not the soppiest of persons. I'm very, I wouldn't say cold. I'm not a cold person, I don't think. But I'm not like a soppy, lovey-dovey person. I'm so getting off track right now, look. I'm talking about my relationship, I don't know why. But yeah, basically the severity of it, obviously when it gets down to the nitty-gritty about my skin, and how if I have a down day with the sort of mental health, you know, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, so it's kind of a given. I felt like I had to do this. So yeah, mental health, you know, I have been on antidepressants for 7 years, 8 years, and on and off, I think, more or less, like on and off. And I'm happy to put my hands up and say that, you know, it's one of those things where I get really bad anxiety, even worse when I've had Amelia. My anxiety goes through the roof, and it's even worse when you have acne. As stupid as that sounds, it is even worse. And you kind of walk out the house, and then I used to go back in because I couldn't do it today. I couldn't deal with it. And not a lot of people know that. Only my close sort of really, really close friends would know that anyway. I feel like there's so much going around at the minute about mental health and being bullied, and that's another subject. Bullying is just, that's something else. But you know, mental health and social media, and it does not help at all. And I feel like with social media at the minute, you know, one step too far. Like with social media, people tend to just think that it's okay because you're behind a computer. You can say these things to hurt people so bloody much. And you know, if it is an insecurity, don't you think they're aware of it? Don't you think that that person knows that her skin is not perfect? That person knows that she isn't the weight she wants to be. I know with bullying that you can't interfere really that much. So with her, I want to help, but there's no actual way to help anything like that. She's doing the right thing. She is ignoring it. She is getting on with her life. She is not retaliating at all. But normally bullies kind of like get on with it. If someone's ignoring it, they kind of get bored. These aren't getting bored, and it's a reflection of how they are brought up as children. I just think, you know, I would be mortified if my daughter bullied. I would absolutely be mortified. So as a parent, I would see that they are obviously very aware of their children's actions, and yet they just ignore it. They ignore what their children are doing, and are happy to let this poor girl, my niece, go through it every single day. But when your child is being bullied, what is right? What is right? I don't know. But last night really hit me, and I kind of like helped her, and I said, you know, bullies are a reflection of themselves, and they will pick on you because they are not happy in their lives. They see it as jealousy. They see it as, you know, they call her, she's got no bum, she's skinny. She's an athletic person. She plays football. She is athletic. Is there anything wrong in that? What is perfect? What is perfect? In a child's mind, in a 12-year-old's mind, I have no idea what would be perfect for someone. There is not a specific person who is the perfect person. Everyone is, I know it sounds really cliche, everyone's beautiful in their own way, everyone's different. If everyone was the same, it would be a fucking boring world. And these kids need to know that. You know, you see all these people who get bullied, and then it spirals down, and the dangers of it. And these people are very much aware, because these kids who are the bullies, they have social media, they know what's going on in the world. They, you know, when I was a kid, I never had social media, I never had a phone when I was a kid. So I didn't know, I wasn't aware of anything. It was probably still going on, but it wasn't so hyped and so big at the time. Now, social media, you are very much aware as a 12-year-old what is going on in the world and why bullying is such a big thing, but yet you continue to bully someone down to the ground. I can't understand what goes through this child's mind to make this girl's life a living freaking hell every day. I feel absolutely dreadful for her, and I feel like I want to do something for her, but I really don't know what. And yeah, hopefully, Emily, if you are watching this, which I know you do because you subscribe, but I just want to say, if anyone is getting bullied, just do what Emily does. You know, it's not going to get any better until these bullies are actually, I don't know what happens to bullies. When do they decide that they shouldn't be bullies? I have no idea. But, you know, if you are being bullied, just ignore it. Just try and be the bigger person. Don't retaliate. Do everything what they don't want you to do. And so anyway, with my skin journey, that's where we're at. So, okay, so 6 months ago, I then finally went to the doctors, and Nathan actually come with me. Nathan works for the NHS, so he kind of knew what was going on, and he come with me, and he was like, do you know what? No, I'm gonna speak up as well. I was like, right, okay. So we went in, and the doctor was so lovely. She was the nicest doctor I think I've ever seen. She was so sympathetic, so happy to help me. I can't actually remember her name, so but she was so lovely, and she was like, do you know what? And I first of all sat down, and I thought she was going to be like the other doctors, so I kind of sat down with my I had a barrier, and I kind of went, I'm not leaving this room until I get referred. I am not going anywhere. And she sat there, and she was like, do you know what? I generally can't do anything else for you. The only thing I can do is refer you. You have had every single medication. You have had every single gel, cream, lotion. I can't physically give you anything else to help your skin unless I refer you. I was like, ah, well, that was easy. Okay, cool. So 7 years later, I got referred. So I had to wait about 6 weeks for an appointment, which is normal for dermatology. Went to the hospital. Nathan went with me because he obviously works there, and he knows a lot of the staff, so it helped a little bit and made me feel a little bit more comfortable. And when they were talking to me about all everything like the symptoms and the reaction and what you have to do and why it's so important, and it's a little bit dangerous and all this sort of stuff, I kind of like went away, and I was like mind boggled. And I spoke to Nathan, and he was like, look, this is basically what happens. This is the symptoms. This is what can happen. You know, it's not as bad as what they make out, but I think obviously they have to tell you everything. So basically, when they referred me, they put you on isotretinoin, which is Roaccutane, and they basically start you off with a cream or like a gel, which I think more or less you use it for about a month, and you kind of see how your skin reacts with that first, because they don't like putting you straight onto the tablets, and if they can help it, they will. And basically then to be honest, the gel, that, to be honest, hurt me. It burnt my skin. I blistered where I put it on my spots. It blistered, it burnt like cysts, it popped. It was awful. So I only used that for about 3 days, and I just went, no, not touching it again. And waited for my appointment for my tablets. And yeah, basically you go in there, you get pictures done for before and after sort of thing. And yeah, then she sort of said to me, right, okay, this is what you've got to do. I was on the first month, she puts you on 1 dose. So you get 1 dose, which is just in the morning or at night, I think. So they do that for a month. You then go in every 4 weeks. So you go in, you have to have a blood test every 4 weeks. You have to have a urine test every 4 weeks. You cannot get pregnant. You have to be on 3 types of contraception because you cannot get pregnant. The first month I went on it, I didn't really, to be honest with you, feel any different. I know that I was watching loads of videos before I went on it, and I was like, right, what's happening? What's going to happen with my skin? And they were saying about dry skin, and they were saying about, you know, like dry eyes, dry nose, and dry lips. That was it. That was all the symptoms I kind of was aware of, and what mostly sort of happened to everyone. So I was like, right, okay, I'll wait for my dry lips, get loads of balm in, wait. And it happened about 2 weeks. I started getting a little bit dry lips. Then it just stayed like that for about for the 4 weeks, went back for my appointment, and she was like, how are things? And I said, absolutely fine, don't feel any different, just dry. She was like, right, okay, perfect. Next month, my skin weren't any different. Next month, went in, and my skin was drier. My skin was itchy because it was so dry. So she prescribed me a shite ton of this cream basically, which would just help the itching and the irritation. I used it, but I didn't feel like I liked it on my skin. I know people are trying to help me, and I'm just like, no. And yeah, so that was that. And then basically, I think it was like the 3rd month. I didn't really get any other symptoms, but the 3rd month hit me like a ton of shit. It really, really did. And I'm only telling people this because if you are going on it, just to make you aware, just in case. I mean, my dermatologist did say, you are just really unlucky. I basically got most symptoms, which, you know, the symptoms what sometimes only happen 1 in a million. So I was one of those. So, you know, what's new? So yeah, so I struggled with the symptoms from that. So I basically got, as stupid as it sounds, it doesn't actually sound that bad, but when you're living in it, it's freaking horrible. My skin wasn't getting any better, but I was still my dry. It was still happening with my dry skin. When I fake tan, I had patches everywhere, but it was livable. It didn't really bother me that much. And then I started getting worse symptoms. So I obviously, with these tablets, the symptoms what do occur, or the effects, you have to be mentally stable. And if you're not, you have to up your anxiety tablets. So with me being mentally unstable, as such, I had to up my tablets, which I did, and to be honest, I felt absolutely fine. But they do say that there is symptoms of like suicide and sort of horrible thoughts in your mind and stuff like that. It really brings you down into a deep, deep depression. So you have to keep your mental kind of thing state good. So that fortunately didn't happen to me. I wasn't, you know, there was days where I was really low, but obviously I did put it down to the tablets. I was really, really low some days, and I'd go through stages. Every day was different, really, to be honest with you. Whoops. Every day was different, to be honest with you. So it was just random. And then obviously when, like I said, the 3rd month hit me, and I went in for my test, and obviously had everything done, and she asked me, and I said, I am struggling so bad. My joints, my back, my neck, my arms, my bones, it felt like I constantly had flu. My joints, like my ankles, when I walked, I'm a hairdresser, not ideal, when I walked, it felt like my ankles were going to break. And it sounds so dramatic and so unrealistic, but they actually felt like they were going to snap. The pain was unbelievable. I felt like I rattled when I walked because I took so many painkillers all the time. And I can remember I'd always like speak to my clients and I'd well up because I was in that much pain. But I'm not one, I don't take a day off sick all year, never do. I will go in on my deathbed, it's just a given. All my clients know my body couldn't fight a lot of stuff, so I had abscesses. Everything was going on in my body. I couldn't fight anything. Water infections, couldn't fight it. I was just really weak. My immune system was completely and utterly destroyed. But that kind of lasted. I know like some people don't get this, so it's kind of like, I feel like I need to tell you, but just in case it might not happen. But that kind of lasted till the end, really. So another 3 months. So it was a killer. It was not very nice, and I did have a bit of a deflated moment with Nathan, and I said to him, I was so emotional, I was so upset, I just said I can't do it anymore, because I weren't seeing any change in my skin. I was like, I can't take it anymore, because they obviously doubled up your dose after the month, so you have 2 doses, 1 in the morning and then 1 at night. I physically couldn't do, I said to him, I was like, I cannot physically take any more tablets. I feel so drained. I hated it. Absolutely hated it, and I weren't seeing no difference in my skin, so I couldn't see anything improving to the fact that I would be like, oh, well, my skin's getting better, so I'll just keep taking it, I'll just get on with it. But then it did work. So it was really, really weird. It was after like the 4th month, it felt like my skin had fell off. I woke up one day and it just literally felt like all my spots, all my boils, it just fell off in the middle of the night. It was really, really strange. And it just started getting better and better. I wasn't changing any skincare. I was scared to change any skincare, to be honest with you, so I wasn't willing to do that, so I just stuck to the same, which is Tropics. Love Tropics. And yeah, I never ever sort of changed anything, and it just happened. It happened overnight, and it sounds so weird to say it, but it did. It happened overnight, and then my skin just started getting smoother and smoother. My scars sort of got less red. I have no blackheads, which... hello. I never really cared about blackheads. Mine were the boils. You can have blackheads all over my face. I couldn't care. Mine was the boils. And the 3D kind of look in your skin. It's not pretty. And yeah, and it kind of was getting better and better. And I'd wake up every single morning, look at my skin. I was obsessed. I would look at my skin and be like, oh my God, that one's gone. Oh my God, like everything had gone. And now, you know, I'm off it. I've been off it now a month. I have got actually on Tuesday, today is Wednesday, on Tuesday next week I have got a follow-up appointment, which is where I just have my bloods done just to see how my body reacts without the tablets, because they get so immune to them. So I have them a blood test, see how that happened, like what happens with that. And yeah, and she sees me and sees whether, you know, if I have a breakout, then she'll probably have to put me back on them. But luckily I have not had one, so I'm happy about that. So they probably won't need to put me back on them. And then I will be taken off the whole register thing. And yeah, it's a really weird feeling to know that I have suffered from acne for 7 years, and now I can definitely say that my skin is completely clear. Happily say that no one can chuck it back in my face. And yeah, I feel a lot better about myself. I feel like I can sort of look in the mirror, as dramatic as that sounds, can look in the mirror and be really happy with how I look without makeup on. Yes, I look different. I think it feels weird to actually not have it and not have to worry about it. I can use different products on my skin now and I'm not even sensitive. It's really strange. But yeah, that's all I think I need to tell you. You know, if anyone does have any more questions about it, about anything really, just comment down below. I'll probably, because I've rambled so much, I've probably missed out so much. But like I said, I'm not that organised sort of person. It isn't me. I can bullet point anything, but I'll never read off it because that's just not me. I just sit there and I ramble, and I probably don't make any sense. This video probably doesn't make any sense at all, but I wanted to try and do it just to help people who are out there maybe suffering from acne, and need a little bit of help. Maybe if you've planned to go on Roaccutane. I did have a message from a girl yesterday who really wants to see this video because she's going on it in July and she is nervous, and it's a scary thing to go on a tablet which they tell you a lot about and they are reluctant to put you on, about how dangerous it actually is. So if you want to DM me in my Instagram, which is linked down below, you can do. I get back to so many people who ask me so many questions. I will never ignore a message. So I can definitely say now that I am acne free, hopefully for a long time. And my mental state is majorly up here. It is so good at the minute. And yeah, the thing is with mental health, I think you just need to surround yourself by people who love you and who understand. Some people who, I think at the minute, the knowledge from some people is mind-boggling about mental health. They think you're just being dramatic, or you're being, I don't know, bloody, you don't need that, just sort your life out, be happy, put a smile on your face. Easier said than done, mate. So some people aren't sympathetic with it, but the people who love you and support you, they will be your best people to be around. And I say that majorly all the time. I love my friends and my family. I'm so lucky. They are always supportive of my makeup. They are supportive of me as a person. You know, if I'm having a bad day, they will come around, they will help. That is who you need to be surrounded by. It's very important. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really sorry if I blabbered on. I'm really sorry I done well. I thought I was going to cry all the way through this video. I got emotional once, but I thought I would cry all the way through. So I'm buzzing about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this did help anyone, even just one person. If that helped you, then I am a happy bugger. Take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.